Share free AWS Certified Security, Specialty, SCS-C02, exam questions for your preparation. 1. A large corporation is creating a multi-account strategy and needs to determine how its employees should access the IAM infrastructure. Which of the following solutions would provide the most scalable solution? A. Create dedicated IAM users within each IAM account that employees can assume through federation based upon group membership in their existing identity provider. B. Use a centralized account with IAM roles that employees can assume through federation with their existing identity provider. Use cross-account roles to allow the federated users to assume their target role in the resource accounts. C. Configure the IAM security token service to use Kerberos tokens so that users can use their existing corporate usernames and passwords to access IAM resources directly. D. Configure the IAM trust policies within each account's role to set up a trust back to the corporation's existing identity provider, allowing users to assume the role based off their SAML token. Answer: B. 2. A company is running its workloads in a single AWS region and uses AWS organizations. A security engineer must implement a solution to prevent users from launching resources in other regions. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Create an IAM policy that has an AWS requested region condition that allows actions only in the designated region. Attach the policy to all users. B. Create an IAM policy that has an AWS requested region condition that denies actions that are not in the designated region. Attach the policy to the AWS account in AWS organizations. C. Create an IAM policy that has an AWS requested region condition that allows the desired actions. Attach the policy only to the users who are in the designated region. D. Create an SCP that has an AWS requested region condition that denies actions that are not in the designated region. Attach the SCP to the AWS account in AWS organizations. Answer: D. 3. A company is hosting a web application on Amazon EC2 instances behind an application load balancer, ALB. The application has become the target of a DOS attack. Application logging shows that requests are coming from small number of client IP addresses, but the addresses change regularly. The company needs to block the malicious traffic with a solution that requires the least amount of ongoing effort. Which solution meets these requirements? A. Create an AWS WAF rate-based rule, and attach it to the ALB. B. Update the security group that is attached to the ALB to block the attacking IP addresses. C. Update the ALB subnet's network ACL to block the attacking client IP addresses. D. Create a AWS WAF rate-based rule, and attach it to the security group of the EC2 instances. Answer: A. 4. Developers in an organization have moved from a standard application deployment to containers. The security engineer is tasked with ensuring that the containers are secure. Which strategies will reduce the attack surface and enhance the security of the containers? Select 2. A. Use the containers to automate security deployments. B. Limit resource consumption, CPU, memory, networking connections, ports, and unnecessary container libraries. C. Segregate containers by host, function, and data classification. D. Use Docker Notary Framework to sign task definitions. E. Enable container breakout at the host kernel. Answer: AC. 5. A security engineer needs to build a solution to turn IAM CloudTrail back on in multiple IAM regions in case it is ever turned off. What is the most efficient way to implement this solution? A. Use IAM config with a managed rule to trigger the IAM enable CloudTrail remediation. B. Create an Amazon event bridge, Amazon CloudWatch Events, event with a CloudTrail.AmazonIAM.com event source and a start logging event name to trigger an IAM Lambda function to call the start logging API. C. Create an Amazon CloudWatch alarm with a CloudTrail.AmazonIAM.com event source and a stop logging event name to trigger an IAM Lambda function to call the start logging API. D. Monitor IAM Trusted Advisor to ensure CloudTrail logging is enabled. Answer: B. 6. A developer at a company uses an SSH key to access multiple Amazon EC2 instances. The company discovers that the SSH key has been posted on a public GitHub repository. A security engineer verifies that the key has not been used recently. How should the security engineer prevent unauthorized access to the EC2 instances? A. Delete the key pair from the EC2 console. Create a new key pair. B. Use the ModifyInstance attribute API operation to change the key on any EC2 instance that is using the key. C. Restrict SSH access in the security group to only known corporate IP addresses. D. Update the key pair in any AMI that is used to launch the EC2 instances. Restart the EC2 instances. Answer: C. 7. A company's security team is building a solution for logging and visualization. The solution will assist the company with the large variety and velocity of data that it receives from IAM across multiple accounts. The security team has enabled IAM CloudTrail and VPC flow logs in all of its accounts. In addition, the company has an organization in IAM Organizations and has an IAM Security Hub master account. The security team wants to use Amazon Detective, however the security team cannot enable Detective and is unsure why. What must the security team do to enable Detective? A. Enable Amazon Macie so that Security HJB will allow Detective to process findings from Macie. B. Disable IAM Key Management Service, IAM KMS, encryption on C2 trail logs in every member account of the organization. C. Enable Amazon Guard Duty on all member accounts. Try to enable Detective in 48 hours. D. Ensure that the principal that launches Detective has the organization's list accounts permission. Answer: D. 8. Your company is planning on using Bastion hosts for administering the servers in IAM. Which of the following is the best description of a Bastion host from a security perspective? A. A Bastion host should be on a private subnet and never a public subnet due to security concerns. B. A Bastion host sits on the outside of an internal network and is used as a gateway into the private network and is considered the critical strong point of the network. C. Bastion hosts allow users to log in using RDP or SSH and use that session to SSH into internal network to access private subnet resources. D. A Bastion host should maintain extremely tight security and monitoring as it is available to the public. Answer. C. 9. A security engineer is configuring a new website that is named example.com. The security engineer wants to secure communications with the website by requiring users to connect to example.com through HTTPS. Which of the following is a valid option for storing SSL/TLS certificates? A. Custom SSL certificate that is stored in AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS. B. Default SSL certificate that is stored in Amazon CloudFront. C. Custom SSL certificate that is stored in AWS Certificate Manager, ACM. D. Default SSL certificate that is stored in Amazon S3. Answer. C. 10. A corporation is preparing to acquire several companies. A security engineer must design a solution to ensure that newly acquired IAM accounts follow the corporation's security best practices. The solution should monitor each Amazon S3 bucket for unrestricted public right access and use IAM managed services. What should the security engineer do to meet these requirements? A. Configure Amazon Macie to continuously check the configuration of all S3 buckets. B. Enable IAM config to check the configuration of each S3 bucket. C. Set up IAM Systems Manager to monitor S3 bucket policies for public right access. D. Configure an Amazon EC2 instance to have an IAM role and a cron job that checks the status of all S3 buckets. Answer. C.